Okay, so again, Marcelo Garcia's no-gi butterfly guard game. Last time we were looking at this, just here, Simon. We were looking at the weakest of the butterfly guard sweeps, which was ideally I want the underhook, or the single necktie, the blast. Worst case scenario, Simon's defending all that, so he just get tricep control, elbow control, butt scoop in. Again, I can sweep him, but I don't have much control of his direction. Ideally, when I sweep him, I want to take him over my left shoulder. In an ideal world where he doesn't resist. But because I don't have much control of Simon's limbs, when I go to do this, I can't sweep him, but I have no control over his direction. So a common response Simon will make is when I go for this sweep, he will base with his hands. Now I can attack either arm. We're going to look at the Choi bar from this position. Notice the way I can do this on his right or left. We're going to look at his right. I have an underhook here, so I just reach this through, and now my right hand is going to frame, and as it does, I push Simon to my right. Once I'm in this position, I'm going to kick up from a supine position, flat on my back, to where my back is off the mat, and as I shrug this onto my shoulder, I'm keeping that open elbow with my left foot on his hip. Now again, I've seen the Choi bars done like this, where I sit back and I bring my knee in front of Simon's left shoulder, but as I push on his head to bring this leg over, Simon can now underhook it, okay? And now from there he can turn the corner and pull his arm out, and he's giving me the pass. So a better way of doing it is, just take it from the start again, from here, when I butt scoop in and he makes that response of posting his hands and I have the underhook. Now I need to get angle, so I'm pushing on his head, sitting up, and I'm getting a foot on the hip. Simon wants to bring this arm back to his body. I want to get it on my shoulder and use my wedge with my left foot. So from here, as I come back, I'm going to bring my knee in front of the near side shoulder. That's the detail. So now from there, again, I need to be paying attention to, I've got good control of the end of the lever, whereby my forearm and support arm is controlling just below his elbow, but I need tension in the arm. So as I do this, I'm pinching my left ear to my left shoulder at his wrist. So I'm using my head and my left shoulder. And now I push on his hip and I start to turn my right knee down as I bring my right leg over. And again, that's going to put tension at his right armpit. And now from here, I'm going to pinch my knees and start leaning into the Choi bar. Let's just get another angle on that, bro. Just from here's perfect. So from our butterfly guard position, we've went for the weakest control, but I don't have control of his direction. So a response Simon can do is posting with this hand. So immediately I have the underhook. Right hand is going to frame on his head, and as I push his head towards my right to get angle, I'm just going to kick up with my butterfly hooks and shrug his right arm onto my left shoulder. Now I want to keep it there, so I put my foot on his hip. My knee, instead of going to the usual far shoulder, is going to come in front of the near side shoulder as I sit back. And again, I have control over the elbow and towards the shoulder, but I want to pinch and get my left ear into my left shoulder. Notice the way I'm flat on my back, but as I move into the Choi bar, I'm turning onto my left side, pointing my knee down so I have pressure at his shoulder, and then I just kick this into his armpit. Again, some people like to make the triangle. I like to keep the foot on the hip, and now I just pinch my knees, and now from there I just lean back. I have the Choi bar, it's just good, and I will just back to the mirror. So, playing again, butt scoop in, Simon's response is to post, win the underhook, frame, kick out to get angle, and as I try to get this on my shoulder, I make that wedge with my left foot. Again, I can be using my elbow in his face to bring in my knee, and once I'm here, notice when I'm flat on my back, I'm starting to cinch up the control to get up to the end of the lever at his wrist. Now I turn on my left hip, chop in. I like to keep the foot on the hip, pinch my knees, And now from here, I'm just hipping in. Just one more angle with your back. So from our position, I butt scoop in, load them onto me, win the underhook and frame to get angle. Once I'm here, I'm kicking up and making that wedge with the left foot, bringing my right knee through. If he's not letting me bring my knee through, I can press on the side of his head. And now from there, I'm moving back into the supine position, shrugging to get my ear and shoulder connected to the wrist. Now that right knee pushes down. As I chop this in, I like to keep the foot on the hip, pressure down the wrist, and now I can hip in. So again, we can reap it back. One way is if I've got the elbow line, I can reap this way, or sometimes if I feel I'm losing that, my right hand is going to grab the elbow and pull it around. When I pull it around from here, now I can just lean back and I have it. You'll have to make small adjustments just depending on if he's turned his arm and with the slip factor of the key. So that's the Choi bar from the butterfly guard.